Hi guys, it's Alex, and today I'm going to be talking about the sci-fi and fantasy books that I have on my 2021 TBR. So as you guys know, my main genre is horror, but I do like to branch out once in a while, and fantasy and sci-fi are some of the other genres that I like. Now, the majority of these I do not own. They're on my wish list. So hopefully I'll be getting around to reading them eventually this year. I do have some of them here. I'll be going through the sci-fi genre first. So for the sci-fi genre, I have on my TBR Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. So this book is about a guy who kind of has like a regular life, and then one day he wakes up and his life is completely different, and he doesn't have his family anymore or his old job, and everything's just very strange all of a sudden, and he has to figure out what happened. And I'm thinking it has to do with like multiple universes and stuff like that. I've heard really great things about this, so I'm really excited to read it. Next, on the sci-fi list is a book that I do not have, but that I've heard great things about. I actually think that it's a novella. It is To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. So I actually don't know what this book is about, but I heard really great things about it, and I don't usually go into books knowing too much about them, just like that they're good. and then I go from there. So yeah. The next book is The Wide Starlight by Nicole Lesperas. I think that's how you say her name. This one has actually not come out yet, but it is going to be released, I think, later this month or next month. It seemed really interesting. The cover art is what got me, and just a lot of people talking about it, and there's a lot of buzz around it. Some people who read it early said it was really great, and so next, this one kind of blends sci-fi and fantasy, so that's why I kind of saved it as the bridge from sci-fi to fantasy. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This one I have actually really wanted to read since last year. This story follows a woman who ends her life, and she wakes up in this library, and she gets shown different ways that her life could have gone if she would have picked different outcomes, I guess. Seems really interesting and really thought-provoking, and I know that a lot of people have loved it, and so yeah, I'm really excited to read it. So now that we're in the fantasy section, I'll start with the books that I actually have. These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. So this book is actually a Romeo and Juliet retelling in China, and the cover is gorgeous. I know you guys have probably heard me talk about this book a bunch of times. It was actually on my TBR last year, but I never got around to it, so eventually I'll get around to it. I've heard great things about it, and yeah, another one with a gorgeous cover and a dragon on the cover. Ooh, that's fun. The Priory of the Green Tree? No. The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. So this is a big book. This is a big book. I'm not even exactly sure reading the synopsis what this book is about, but I know that a lot of people love it, and that it has all like main women characters, and I found that really interesting. Now, this book isn't part of a series. Actually, none of these fantasy books are part of a series currently, or some of them might be a duology, but that's why I never really got into fantasy books, because the series are so long and it's so much to read, and I don't know, I just have book commitment issues, I guess. I just like to have like one story and have it wrapped up nicely in a bow and just like leave it at that, you know? If there's like a whole series, then I know I'm gonna have to wait a year or multiple years until I can find resolution, and sometimes the sequels suck. Yeah, I just really want to have like that one book experience. Luckily, this one book looks like it could be a series. Next on the list is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I actually do think that this one is part of a series or a duology, which means 2 books. You guys probably knew that. I don't know why I'm explaining that. Ugh. Anyways, so yeah, I also don't know what this one is about. It just has a really nice cover. That's another thing about fantasy books. They all look so pretty. It's got really great reviews, and I've heard a lot about Sarah J. Maas as an author. So this would be my first book by her, and I'm very interested to get into it. Next on the list is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This story follows, I guess, villains or anti-heroes or something, and they go on adventures. Again, I'm not the one to turn to if you want a synopsis. Now, recently I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and I really loved that book. I like the writing, I like the fantasy elements, so I'm really interested to see more of her work. I've actually heard people say that Vicious was better than The Invisible Life, so yeah, that's really interesting. So the next one on the list is Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. Now this book, I think, is part of a trilogy, but I think that you could like read the first book alone and have resolution, so, you know, less stress, you know. This book is about a man and his wife that go to, I think, on their honeymoon or something. They go on this tour, but then suddenly he gets sidetracked and he loses his wife, I think, and he goes to try to find her, and then suddenly he's stuck in this tower of sorts, and as he climbs the tower, he like goes through all of these different challenges. From what I heard, it just gets like really crazy, really wild, but also fun to read. So yeah, I'm excited to get into that one as well. Yeah guys, that's my fantasy and sci-fi TBR for 2021. Hopefully I get to all of these books. Let me know in the comments if you guys have read any of these books, or if you have any other sci-fi fantasy suggestions for me. I would be very happy to hear that. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye.